show. If you're feeling down about how many dudes in pussy hats are turning out to be creeps, this might be a good distraction. We're now substantially closer to war with Iran.
I am announcing today that the United States will withdraw from the Iran nuclear deal.
Okay, I give up. When on this roller coaster of a week do we get our picture taken so we can get the fuck off this ride? It's only Wednesday. I feel like by Friday we'll find out that Big Bird is the Zodiac killer. In his announcement ending the Iran deal, Trump gave a very specific reason.
Today's action sends a critical message. The United States no longer makes empty threats. When I make promises, I keep them.
Unless your name is Tiffany and he promised to come to your golf recital or whatever. I mean, we both knew he wasn't going to do that. Also, stop calling me. I can tell you another promise that Trump didn't keep, the one we literally made when America agreed to the Iran deal. To be clear, we're not withdrawing from the Iran nuclear deal. We are violating the Iran nuclear deal. It's kind of like if you go to a nice restaurant and make a deal with the waiter to eat food. If you then flip the table over and run out the door without paying, you are not withdrawing from the Shonies. You're just being an asshole who broke the law. And by pulling out of the Iran deal, we are those assholes. This is only going to make it harder for other countries to trust us in the future, let alone now when they have to believe the honesty of a man with raccoon eyes. I can't believe we did this while we're in the middle of negotiating a deal with North Korea. The only way we're going to get Kim Jong-un to sign now is to attach a Sharpie onto a hoagie. And even then, what if he doesn't like the hoagie? It's a gamble. Trump claimed that the Iran deal wasn't working and that Iran was still developing nuclear weapons, but that just wasn't true. Even members of Trump's own national security team have said the deal was working, including Secretary of Defense Jim Mattis and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo.
Do you believe it's in our national security interest at the present time to remain in the JCPOA?
Yes, Senator, I do.
Is it the judgment of the intelligence community that Iran has thus far adhered to the deal's major provisions?
Yes, and the judgment is there's been no material breach of the agreement.
I've seen no evidence that they are not in compliance today.
That was Mike Pompeo saying that. He hates the Iran deal. Do you know how much it hurt him to say that he doesn't currently have a reason to blow them off the map? If you look closely, you can see that he was crying. It's no surprise that Trump bailed on the deal anyway. He's done everything he can to discredit it, even possibly going so far as to spy on the people who crafted it.
The New Yorker has a bombshell report out this morning. It says that Israeli operatives collected information on former Obama officials who were supporters of the Iran nuclear deal.
Of course, the media want to tie this to the Trump administration, but does this really sound like something Trump would do?
The report also says the operatives came from the same firm used by Harvey Weinstein.
Okay, yes, it definitely sounds like something Trump would do. I mean, we don't know for sure who hired intelligence operatives to spy on Obama staffers Ben Rhodes and Colin Kahl, but I have a guess, and it rhymes with Dorka.
The people that were in the White House, like Ben Rhodes, Colin Kahl, they helped create the firestorm that is the Middle East, that is ISIS today. People like Colin Kahl, thanks to Ben Rhodes. The Ben Rhodes, Colin Kahl nexus, Ben Rhodes, Colin Kahl. Ben Rhodes and Colin Kahl, K-A-H-L.
It's even more terrifying when you see Gorka's notebook. It's logical to imagine the president's decision was simply motivated by a petty desire to replace every Obama-era initiative, like his crusade against Obamacare, or how he's turned Michelle's White House garden into a fully functioning Hooters. Bad decision, worse food. But the reality is that yesterday's colossal policy mistake was probably motivated by Trump's genuine prejudice toward all Muslims, not just the imaginary one he built a conspiracy theory around. And it's not just Trump. Americans' level of paranoia over Iran has reached yellow cake proportions. In fact, 26 American states felt it necessary to impose their own sanctions on Iran. So watch out, geopolitics. Rhode Island is on the case. Even New York threw their hat into the ring, though their statement was mostly about how the pizza sucks in Iran. But Forget our national anti-Iran derangement. As long as we're poised to dive into another endless war in the Middle East, at least we're about to have a CIA director with some expertise in how to oversee torture of Middle Easterners. CIA director nominee and torture mom Gina Haspel chatted with the Senate today. Critics are opposing her nomination because of her history of overseeing violent interrogation, but I have to say she's taking it pretty well.
The president has asserted that torture works. Do you agree with that statement?
Senator, I don't believe that torture works. I believe that in the CIA's program, and I'm not attributing this to enhanced interrogation techniques, I believe, as many people, directors who have sat in this chair before me, that valuable information was obtained from senior al-Qaeda operatives that allowed us to defend this country and prevent another attack.
Is that a yes?
No, it's not a yes.
Man, getting answers out of her is torture. I'm sorry, getting answers out of her is enhanced interrogation techniques. Haspel did promise today that the CIA would not torture anybody anymore. Really, cross your heart, no backsies.
I would not restart under any circumstances in an interrogation program at CIA.
Which would be a great answer on torture at a parole hearing for torturing people, but not for a government confirmation hearing. So this week, we basically told the world we don't keep our promises and we aren't going to torture people anymore. We promise. Happy Wednesday. We'll be right back.